Hello and welcome to the Actual Tech Media EcoCast. My name is Jess and I am excited to be here with you all today. But before we jump into our content, I have some basic information that I want to cover with you. All right, let's kick off our day here today by taking a quick tour of your audience console. And we're going to start with the questions window. So if you haven't already said hi, there is a whole audience of cool humans out there, so reach out and give a wave to the other members of the Actual Tech Media community. Now, keep in mind that if you do have any technical issues today, a browser refresh is going to fix just about anything. But if those tech gremlins are clinging on today, no problem. Just throw a comment in the question section and our crew will be there to help. We also want this to be an informative webinar for you, so throughout today's EcoCast, we hope you'll get engaged and ask all your burning questions. Not only will we have team members responding to you over a live chat, we will also have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of our presentations. Now, if we don't get to your question during the live webinar today, don't worry, because the awesome experts that we have here with us will be following up after we wrap. All right, next up, there's going to be lots of cool aha moments on the EcoCast today. And if you want to share those with your community, we've made it nice and easy for you. You can use the Twitter button right there in your audience console, and the hashtag for today's EcoCast will be automatically added to your post. All right, our last stop on this guided tour, be sure to check out the handouts tab for some awesome resources and takeaways from our speakers here today. We have an info pack collection, solution briefs, white papers, data sheets, free trials, ebooks, upcoming webinars, and more. So many great resources, so be sure to go explore. Now, if that wasn't enough fun, we also have some exciting prizes that we'll be giving away throughout today's EcoCast. I'm going to tell you a bit more about those later on, but a few quick reminders for you all. First, you do need to be here live in attendance at the EcoCast in order to qualify to win a prize, and we will follow up with all of you after we wrap. Now, all winners must submit an IRS Form W-9 to Actual Tech Media, and all winners must meet the Actual Tech Media prize terms and conditions. Now, if you don't know what those full T's and C's are, that's fine. We've got the full thing for you. Just head on over to that handouts tab, click in, scroll down to the bottom, and you'll find them waiting for you there. Now, the absolute most important thing to remember is that we love getting all your insightful questions during these live webinars. In fact, we love it so much that we actually have a special additional prize for all you inquisitive folks out there. So in today's EcoCast, we will be giving away a prize for the best question asked in each of our live sessions. Now, the expert speakers and teams will review all questions asked after we wrap the webinar, which means that even if your question does not get read out in a live session, there is still a chance to win. If you are a lucky winner here today and you would like to donate the value of your prize, we have several wonderful organizations that we partner with. So let us know when we follow up about your big win, and we'll get that rolling for you. Again, we are so happy to have you all here with us live at the EcoCast today, and we want to keep that good feeling going, so let's connect on social media. Reach out and connect with Actual Tech Media on Twitter and on LinkedIn. We have lots of great content, and we always want to hear from you. Now, if you're looking for more awesome content and resources right after we wrap the EcoCast today, be sure to subscribe to the Actual Tech Media channel on YouTube. Another fun way to win a prize and, hey, grow this awesome community is to refer an industry friend or a coworker to the Actual Tech Media webinar series. Now, you'll find a link to do that right in your handouts tab, and you will also be automatically redirected at the end of the webinar. And both you and your coworker or friend could win a prize, and we hold those drawings every month. So be sure to refer a friend because, it could quite literally be a win-win situation. Next, we have a cool opportunity for all the decision makers out there to get connected with new and emerging tech and innovative vendors. Here's how it works. All you need to do is click on the link in your handouts tab, fill out a quick application, and the Actual Tech crew will then match you with some vendors that we think you should probably be chatting with based on your needs. There will also be fun opportunities that you get to choose to join in, like surveys, test runs, new solutions, extended demos, and so on. You'll get some chances to win extra prizes, you'll chat with great people, and you'll learn about the hottest new trends in tech. So be sure to apply, or hey, send that link to a decision maker on your team. Now, I want to take a quick minute here to remind you all about one of my favorite resources, and that is ransomware.org. You can find out everything you need to know about ransomware, how to prepare, prevent, and recover. This site is jam-packed with information, helpful tips, checklists, strategic approaches, case studies, everything you need in one place. So wherever you are in your ransomware preparedness journey, there is something for you at ransomware.org. Go check it out and start exploring. All right, I have one more exciting resource I have to tell you about today, and that is the Gorilla Guide Book Club. It's going to give you access to free enterprise IT books authored by top industry experts, so you can stay up to date on trending enterprise technology. And yes, these books will work on your Kindle, your mobile device, and as I said, they are completely free. You can download these awesome resources at gorilla.guide, and there's a link for you in that handouts tab as well. All right, well, we have covered a lot of important things already, and I don't know about you all, but I am excited to dive in. So let's get going.
Well, I am excited too, Jess. Welcome everyone to the Actual Tech Media EcoCast. Today's topic is IT's role in defining the future higher ed classroom today. I want to start by saying a big thank you to all the attendees for joining us today, for our U.S. attendees, and we have a number of international attendees, and I wanted to give a special shout out to some of them today. We have Anze from Slovenia. We have got Jamal from Morocco. We have got, let's see what else we have got there. Several more international. We have got Renee from Holland. We have got, let's see, we've got some more, I think. Let's see, international. Let me keep scrolling through here. We have Frank from Germany. We have James from Wales, which is part of my heritage as well. So great to see all of you being here from overseas. And for those of you in the US, we will never forget you either. So on the EcoCast today, everyone, we've got several industry-leading companies presenting some big names here, including Sennheiser and VizRT. My name is Keith Ward. I'm one of the moderators here, and I am thrilled to be your host for today's EcoCast. Our other moderators, you can see on the screen there, you've met Jess, and you're going to see her again in just a little bit. Excuse me. Scott Becker is another moderator, and Mackenzie Pudici fills out our incredible roster of moderators. We call ourselves the Mod Squad. Isn't that clever? Okay. And as always, with every Actual Tech Media EcoCast or other event, we have more than just great content for you. We have got some fantastic prizes too. 3 of you today will walk away $300 richer in the form of Amazon gift cards. As a reminder, like Jess said, you do have to be in attendance during the entire event to qualify for the prizes. If you want to read about that and you like really boring stuff, go ahead and check that out in the handouts section. For me, I want to get on to the main event. So let's get started on that. Our keynote today is coming to you courtesy of Cindy Davis, Content and Brand Director of AV Technology with SmartBrief. Cindy is going to set the table for today's event with an overview of how educational technology has evolved over the years. Now, Cindy is ready to go, so I am going to turn the mic over to her.
Hi there, I'm Cindy Davis, Brand and Content Director for AV Technology. Today's topic, IT's role in defining the future higher ed classroom, is an area that I've been covering for more than 10 years, and a lot has changed. Even 5 years ago, this might be something that you're familiar with. Not on my network was a common refrain regarding networked audio or video. It may still be your stance today. I don't need to tell you, though, a lot has happened in the past few years that has made networked AV not only viable, but in fact necessary in the classroom and throughout the campus in many instances. And as fate would have it, as instructors returned to the classroom, they had a newfound appreciation and knowledge of how AV technology supported and enhanced their pedagogies. While many of the technologies were available pre-2020, to put it mildly, there was a reluctance on the part of the instructor to use them. And to be fair, a lot of times they were hard to use. Microphones were missing, lavaliers, whatever, went missing. Too many steps to start a classroom. And it was just too complicated. That has changed a great deal. And if the pandemic has had a silver lining at all, it became the pivot point in recognizing the need for high quality audio and video capture and distribution. Everyone expects a high quality these days. So in addition, it became clear that these enabling technologies really needed to be networked to make them easier to deploy, manage, and monitor. I'm going to say that a few times because those are really the key points. And during the past decade, there's been a shift at many colleges and universities for AV departments to be reporting directly to the IT department. In some cases, that transition was fraught with territorial posturing. But for many, the convergence just made sense, and the rest is history for them. In the end, AV designers and engineers will always be needed for expertise they bring to the table, such as programming systems, EQing a room, understanding the technical aspects and quality of service required with encoding and decoding video, DSPs, programming displays, networking, AV, and control systems to talk to each other, and so much more, including security. Security and networked AV in the same breath, in the same sentence. I know, pretty much the top priority at any organization, as it should be, and certainly for the IT department, is security. And don't think this went on deaf ears with AV manufacturers. They've been planning for this for a very long time. More than a decade ago, AV manufacturers transitioned to become technology companies. They hired the best IT security specialists and engineers to ensure their products met rigorous security standards. And if requested, reach out to them. They'll meet directly with your IT staff to answer questions about security measures they've taken. So today, IT departments are partners in the decision-making process regarding classroom AV technologies, and in some cases, drive the final decision. Manufacturers have been answering the demand for high-quality audio and video in the classroom that's easy to use, easy to deploy, easy to monitor, and very important, especially these days, it creates equity for those near and far. Today's students and faculty expect the highest quality experience in the classroom, around the campus, remote learning, as well as streamed events. And there are a number of solutions that can deliver on that demand. So I hope you enjoy the upcoming presentations, and thank you for spending some time with us today.
And thank you, Cindy, for that illuminating keynote. Now we've got a quick poll question for you. Please fill that out. If you can, let us know where you are in your efforts to add new or update existing IT solutions at your company. Are you at the beginning? Are you within the next year, within a year or two, or you just don't know at this point? This is important information for us, so please fill that poll out. While we get ready to gear up for our first presentation in the event here today. Right now, a bunch of you aren't sure. I'm seeing that as the leading item here. Within a year, the next up within 6 to 12 months. So evenly divided between brand new and a year or two. So you're kind of at all various stages, which kind of makes sense, doesn't it, for for a crowd this large? But continue to fill that out while we get to our first presentation in the EcoCast, as I mentioned, and we are going to go there right now. What do you say? So up first, batting leadoff, you might say, to use a baseball metaphor, is Sennheiser. Presenting for Sennheiser is Madhav Jain, Insights Manager for Education, and he is going to be joined by the luminous Jess, who is geared up for a fun discussion with him. I'm really looking forward to this one. So, Jess and Madhav, please take it away.
All right. Well, hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be joining you, and I am joined by an incredible guest. I'm very pumped to get into this conversation here. Madhav is here from the Sennheiser crew. Madhav, introduce yourself to our audience out here.
Hey, Jess. Thanks for having me here. Hi, everybody. My name is Madhav, and I'm the Insights Manager for Higher Education at Sennheiser. I'm the person who is really bringing in the customer voice in the organization and working with people like yourself worldwide at universities who are really trying to make a difference in the lives of students and teachers. So really excited to be here, Jess.
Yes, I love that. And I think there is a lot to unpack here today. We have a lot to get through, so I'm going to jump right in and I'm going to start with the problems. I want to start with what are we trying to solve? What are the top IT issues that you are seeing that universities are trying to resolve in this crazy wild world that we live in, Madhav?
Yeah. Well, there are several issues that IT managers are trying to resolve, but EduCause did a study with the IT managers working at universities and really identified some top issues. Among them, the three that really stood out were one, universities are really trying to address their hybrid learning models, especially after COVID, that has really taken on a lot more importance. The second is to try and make the classroom experience more equitable for students. And thirdly is like people who are working at universities or even corporates. IT managers are really trying to make sure that the hybrid work culture is still progressing and it's not just a one-off thing post-COVID, but it's really something which they are addressing for the long term, for the long run.
You know, those are some big issues and some big opportunities, and I'm excited to explore each one of them. So let's start with hybrid and online learning. How are universities responding to that trend, to that move?
Okay, so when we talk about hybrid learning, it's important to also have some context here. And post-COVID, the adoption of hybrid learning really catapulted. And the numbers from the US higher education enrollment suggest that 54% of students have at least one or more online class, which makes up about 10 million students. Now, that's a significant number. And technology plays a crucial role in addressing the needs of hybrid learning, especially when we talk about designing spaces, right? Universities have to take an extra effort to make sure these spaces are really working for the students who are not just sitting in a classroom, but also joining remotely.
That's really interesting, that kind of cross section between technology and space. And I really want to dig in a little bit more into that because I think that's the sort of hybrid learning environment is one that people had a lot of feelings about when it sort of first really came on the scene during COVID. And now I think we've settled into it a little bit more. And so universities are getting to decide whether they want to continue this by choice or by necessity now. And so I'm wondering if you could give us a little bit more of a specific example or place where you've seen that upgraded, that redesigned learning space that's facilitating hybrid learning.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are several universities across US and worldwide that use our solutions. And especially during COVID, several universities adopted the hybrid learning environment or culture. And one particular university that really stands out is University of Nevada, Las Vegas, which have really been one of the pioneers of hybrid learning or upgrading hybrid learning spaces. They've coined them Rebel Flex rooms, and Frank and James at UNLV have designed these spaces with our ceiling microphone, the Team Connect Ceiling 2 microphone, by the way, which I'm using right now while talking to you guys. And they've also installed the Speechline digital wireless microphone system. I'm happy to talk to you more about this as well.
Yeah.
And sorry, before I forget, I should mention that for those of you who will be at Infocom, UNLV is in fact hosting an experience tour together with Avixa on June 11th. So if you guys are in Vegas, besides going to the casinos and to Infocom, it would be awesome if you guys can take some time out and go to the experience tour that is hosted by UNLV. That's a little plug there. Sorry about that.
Casinos and testing. I like it. These are all really positive things. But I'm wondering actually if I can ask you to explain that in even greater detail, because I love the fact that you're using this microphone right now. And as we were joining this EcoCast this morning, you were kind of walking around the room and showcasing to me that your mic was picking up wherever you went. I think that's really exciting. And all of us have been in a meeting where somebody like leans away from the mic and all of a sudden you can't hear them anymore. So that's a huge opportunity. And I'm wondering if you have any other sort of examples that you'd want to give of what UNLV and similar universities have seen as those specific improvements that they've been able to achieve for their students through Sennheiser technology?
Absolutely. So I'm happy to share with you the Team Connect Ceiling 2 live while I'm speaking to you. You can hear the audio coming in straight from the ceiling mic. So irrespective of where I am, let me just toggle the camera tracking real quick. And we can see the camera is now intelligently just moving back. And this microphone, oops, sorry. This microphone comes with automatic dynamic beamforming technology, which is really helpful for faculty who likes to move around like myself and want to engage with the students. So irrespective of how the table setup is, whether it's an active learning classroom, whether it's an actual lecture hall, the ceiling microphone intelligently captures your audio. Now, this technology is really picking up. Universities have taken a lot of liking towards this, especially with the fact that it's so intuitive, right? You don't have to worry about microphones in your hand anymore.
Yeah.
Add to that a camera tracking feature, especially in a hybrid setup, like I was talking about UNLV. You need to be aware of the fact that students are also joining remotely. So when those students are sitting in other spaces, you don't want them to miss the lecture. And you want them to be able to follow the faculty irrespective of where they are in the room. So that's Team Connect Ceiling 2 in a nutshell. We also have a smaller variant to that. Let me just switch off camera tracking.
I'm just loving, I've never done a EcoCast where I'm having to like track along. I feel like I'm a sportscaster, and so Madhav's on the right, Madhav's on the left.
So let me just switch that off. And the camera will again just point in my direction.
So cool.
So if we talk about automatic dynamic beamforming with the ceiling microphone, you also want to be able to record this audio over to a lecture capture, an LMS platform using a lecture capture system. That's possible with the ceiling mic. Irrespective of what lecture capture technology or LMS platform you use, you can still use our ceiling mic. And the voice lift technology, that's something which I should definitely mention. Imagine using your ceiling microphone for local sound reinforcement. So this microphone really has a lot packed into a small form factor, which is a standard dial or a circular form factor with the newer ceiling mic. And we also have another product, which is the SpeechLine digital wireless microphone system. I have it right here. A really easy to use digital wireless microphone system, which works on the 1.9 gigahertz frequency band. So it's license free. It also comes with automatic frequency management. So you don't have to worry about, especially as an IT manager, you don't care about what frequency it's on. It should just work, right?
Yes.
So with our wireless microphone system, that's possible. Talk about 15 hours of battery time. It's network enabled. IT loves network enabled stuff. Of course, it also comes with AES-256 encryption. And it also allows you as an IT manager to remotely manage all microphones on campus using the Sennheiser Control Cockpit software. Now, that's a free software that allows you to manage microphones across the campus. So as an IT manager who is really working on resolving problems for the entire campus, you don't want to have that dreaded phone call from the faculty anymore that a microphone isn't working. So Control Cockpit gives you the flexibility of knowing what the battery status is, along with several other features, all packed into a free software. So check it out. You could, in fact, download that from the Sennheiser website and play with the demo version. Sorry, Jess, I have taken a long time to address this.
Because it was all super cool stuff, and I'm hoping now we can transition into our second point that you were talking about of the sort of three main issues that we were going to address today really easily there, because you've just given us a bunch of examples of what your technology can do, and Sennheiser is clearly offering a lot to classrooms, and there's huge opportunities there in terms of creating a positive learning environment for students. But one of the aspects of that you mentioned that I'm really excited to hear a little bit more about is that accessibility element to that, because I think when COVID first hit and schools had to adapt, there was sort of a necessity. We were just responding. It was a knee-jerk response. And then one of the really beautiful things that came out of that move was realizing the opportunity for accessibility that was unlocked by this move towards hybrid or remote learning. And so I think for a lot of universities, they're not going back. And now this is what we're doing, because it is opening up those classrooms to people that maybe would have struggled with that before. And I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about how some of the technologies that you just explained to us are helping enable that more inclusive and accessible classroom experience.
Thanks for bringing that up, Jess. This is, in fact, a topic which is close to my heart. When we talk about equitable learning, we have to think about what kind of inclusion are we talking about in classrooms. And in US, about 44 million people are having some level of hearing loss over the age of 20. And even if we consider a small fraction of that who are going to universities, it's really important for university administration and the DEI team and the IT department to jointly work towards bringing inclusivity in the classrooms. Now, inclusion in the classrooms. Now, these students are there to study, right? They don't want the technology to be a barrier. And more often than not, technology is the biggest barrier for learning. And when we talk about inclusion, I'm so glad that this is one of the top IT issues which universities are trying to address. It just shows the importance of this. When the responsibility falls to the DEI department in a university, the accessibility team, they are there's always a passing the buck kind of a situation going on. The disabilities team is forwarding it to the IT is saying, unless we don't know more information from the disabilities team. And between all of that, the student is the one who's suffering. And one of the biggest problem is the technology barrier. They don't trust the traditional technology, which is provided. Sometimes they don't even know that it exists. So Sennheiser has in fact developed a Wi-Fi based assistive listening system, which brings the power of assistive listening and audience engagement in the palm, right? Using their smartphone. So how cool is that?
That's super cool. Yeah, everyone has their phone with them, so you might as well use that to benefit.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a no-brainer really. If we talk about a Wi-Fi based system, imagine having just think about this, right? Everyone has a smartphone today. More than 80% of Americans have smartphones, and more than 90% of those are using internet on their phone. And Wireless RERC, or the Rehabilitation Engineering Research Center, had done a research amongst college students, specifically asking them about their openness or their inclination towards adopting an app-based assistive listening system. And more than 86% students with hearing loss were willing to try an app-based assistive listening system. And this is a big proof point for us, which Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, need to take cognizant of, that the role of assistive listening is changing. The kinds of assistive listening devices are changing. And this is the new wave of assistive listening, using your smartphone. In fact, I have a banner of Mobile Connect behind us over there, and there'll be more information to be shared with the audience. And our team is more than happy to talk to you about this in depth.
Yes, there's clearly lots more to learn. I'm going to keep sneaking in a few more questions for you as we get close to the end of our time here, though, because I would like to, speaking of more to learn, I would love to get another example from you. I think it's so great to see these things in action. And so, understanding where the Wi-Fi based assisted listening system came from. And then I'm wondering if we could maybe see an example of where Mobile Connect has been implemented and what the impact has been at that university.
Yeah, I have a fantastic example to share with you from Stanford University, which has deployed 45 Mobile Connect stations in their campus. They've in fact renamed it as Stanford Focus, which is super awesome, right? They don't want the technology to be just restricted to hard of hearing students to make them feel that they are quote unquote special. So this technology has really opened up the topic of inclusion for everybody. So everybody with a smartphone, all students can just walk in, scan a QR code, and sit in their lecture space wherever they want to sit, and they can get the audio stream straight into their headset, whether it's a headphone, a hearing aid, a cochlear implant, irrespective of what they have as a hearing device, they can get the audio stream straight into their smartphone using the Mobile Connect app. And Stanford has not only deployed Mobile Connect, they've also deployed our seating microphones and the SpeechLine digital wireless microphones. And all the audio that is coming in through these microphones is being streamed through Stanford Focus, which just makes the entire experience so much better, right? We call it the campus-wide audio. You don't want any student to be left out, irrespective of where they are in the class, not in class, how good their hearing ability is. Irrespective of that, everybody deserves a chance to learn like equal. And that's what we are trying to achieve with our technology here. And I'm so glad that Stanford and many other universities have deployed Mobile Connect.
Madhav, I absolutely love that. I'm getting a little emotional hearing that, because I think that is such a beautiful mission and a beautiful thing to enable for students on campuses. And I'm thinking back and wishing that was around when I was in school. But the other element of this, and the last place that I want to kind of go to in our conversation today, is it's not just students that are benefiting from the technology that you're offering to these universities. It's also the employees, and that's obviously a huge part of any university. And I can think of professors and faculty members and administrative elements in my university that made such an impact and a difference in my experience there. So, and of course, that's a lot of the folks joining us here in the audience today. So for all of them, for all of those wonderful humans working at universities who are also interested in these opportunities to be hybrid and remote, how is Sennheiser helping that particular group?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jess. So we have to think of the fact that universities, like corporates, are also institutions that have many employees. And as much as students love the hybrid setup, so do the employees. So Sennheiser has launched the new video bars, the Team Connect Bar S and Team Connect Bar M, that will be available around Infocom, and the team will be able to experience it. And the people who are joining us today can come to Infocom, come to our booth and check out those bars. Of course, we also have our seating microphones, the one which I'm using. This is perfect for hybrid conference spaces. So irrespective of your conference rooms where you're having your staff meetings, some of you need to stay back because your child needs you at home and you want to stay back at home and work. I enjoy hybrid work, and I'm sure, Jess, you enjoy hybrid work too. This flexibility with having technology that enables that is fantastic, and I think it's just here to stay. And when we talk about technology, it should be seamless, especially for IT. You don't want to be, the moment you talk about audio, you don't want to think of running cables and adjusting frequencies. It should be intuitive, plug and play, easy to manage, easy to deploy. And we've really packed all of this into all our solutions. And I'm so glad that I have a chance to come here and talk to you about it. And not just about the higher education side of things, but also corporate, right? Because ultimately students will be moving into corporate world too. And professors and faculty and admin members, they all need to have the same experience, whether they're at home or they're on campus.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to take the time and come and chat with us today, and that I was able to join the EcoCast to talk to you, because this has been so exciting and uplifting and just wonderful. It's really fun to think about the direct impact of these technologies in higher ed. I wish we could keep going, and I really hate to wrap this up, but I am going to ask you for kind of if you have any final thoughts, and then also if you could let the audience know, for anyone out there that is really excited, wants to jump in with Sennheiser right away, what you would kind of recommend is those first steps. So final wrap thoughts and first action steps from you, Madhav.
So my final words here are that anyone who is joining the call today, irrespective of what department you are working with, what level of seniority you're working with in the IT, it's important to understand that it's a collective action that we are taking here, right? Especially in higher education, it's really important that we are able to bring that level of experience and connect the dots between technology, pedagogy, and space. And it's really for individuals like us, for people like us, to bring that technology to the students and the faculty. And COVID has given us that chance, that opportunity to upgrade our classrooms and press that reset button. Technology that was existing for donkey's years, it's time to throw that all away and bring in technology that really enables equitable learning, a good experience for students and faculty. And those are my closing words. And you will be able to access our information from the Sennheiser website. And also, I'm sure we'll have some content for you to take away with you here as well.
You're absolutely right. We have it right in the audience console, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. We also have a poll question for all of you out there, so we're going to get to that in 1 second. But before we hand things back on over to the EcoCast and get that poll running, Madhav, I just want to say one last time how wonderful it's been chatting with you. Thank you so much for coming and for being willing to do this kind of in your live in action and put the microphone, the ceiling microphone, to the test. This has been such a fun opportunity to chat with you today, and I think some really impactful technology coming out of Sennheiser. So I've really enjoyed chatting with you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot, Jess. Thank you so much, Jess. Really glad that I could join you today. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. What a fantastic presentation by both Jess and Madhav. Now I have one question though. What are donkey years? He had mentioned donkey years in there, that stuff hasn't been available. I know dog years, but donkey years, maybe one of the attendees can let me know what a donkey year is and how that compares to a human year. But I loved all the moving around the room that he did and how clearly you could still hear him. So now we have got our poll question up that Jess referenced there. Let us know what additional information you'd like from Sennheiser, and keep voting while you can. I'm going to leave that up while I remind everyone about the handouts too. We've got a PDF from Sennheiser all about their education solutions, so be sure to check that out if you would like more detail. Thanks to everyone who's responding to the poll. Keep doing that. We appreciate your feedback so much, and it's very important to us to have. So Jess and Madhav, what a great, informative presentation. Thank you for educating us, Madhav, on Sennheiser and what they were doing. So eye-opening for me, and I think it was for everyone else too. Before we run to our next session, however, it is time for our first prize drawing. Remember, we are giving away 3 $300 Amazon gift cards during today's event, and the winner of the first $300 card is Jeff Wiseman from Alaska. Now, that is a place I am dying to visit. So, in fact, for those of you who have desire to see Alaska or to go there like me, there's a show called Ice Airport Alaska that you can catch on TV if you have any interest in visiting the state. It is awesome. Anyway, enough about that. Congratulations on your win, Jeff. We will be in touch about claiming your prize ASAP. And now with that, we are going to move along to the next presentation in the EcoCast. And this one comes from VizRT, and presenting for VizRT is Liam Hayter, product manager. Liam, it is so great to have you here today. And just for you, I'll say this. It's okay for you to be a hater today. The floor is yours, Liam. You can get going now.
Hi, my name's Liam Hayter, Product Manager at VizRT, and I'm here today to talk to you about capturing with confidence. Before we get started, I'd just like to say a thank you to EcoCast for giving us the opportunity to present to you all today, and thank you all for attending. Just a quick reminder, there is the opportunity for a Q&A at the end. But before we get started, I just want to play a short video just to let you know who we are and what we do. And also, I think hopefully you'll recognize a few of the products and technologies actually featured in this very short video, and I'll be right back.
VizRT is there for you. Visualization in real time for every content creator. Our people are our superpower. with expertise, knowledge, and collaboration. One promise: more stories, better told. One vision: storytelling for everyone. 4 core pillars: content-centric, user-focused, software-defined, innovation. And a huge growth journey, adding new tech in 2019, adding Flowix in 2022. Truly global. 26 offices worldwide, 24/7 support, and 6 industry-leading R&D offices. With a whole ecosystem of partners, VizRT is one integrated product portfolio: studio, graphics, automation, distribution, live production, asset management, on-prem, in the cloud, and anywhere you need to be. VizRT is for every content creator, for every storyteller, for everyone. VizRT. More stories, better told.
If you'd like to find more information, please visit vizrt.com, where you can see our wider range of products. So let's have a quick look now at actually how the direction of travel is going within the AV and content creation industry. If we look at it broadly, there's 3 main silos that have always existed. There's broadcast technology, communications technology, and audio-visual technologies as well. Now, over time, and particularly recently in the last few years, these have actually become started to blur, and it's being driven via IT technology, because products in all of these sectors, technologies in these sectors, have all become increasingly computer-based. Therefore, they've become software-defined and ultimately network-linked as well. Now, the great thing is that a technology that we originally developed, which is called NDI, can actually underpin all of these different sectors and many more. In fact, you'll find NDI embedded in products anywhere that you may find video or audio, even outside these particular sectors too, driving new ways of creating workflows and of content creation. What is NDI? Well, it stands for Network Device Interface, and with NDI as the underlying IP protocol, and with VizRT technologies, you'll find that we can create technologies that help drive meeting rooms and embed into things such as Microsoft Teams or Zoom, which can leverage NDI in the video conferencing side. We drive and build auditoriums where we can do everything from the screen behind our presenter on stage to reinforcement screens, the actual capture side of it, the cameras that drive it, and more. You'll find NDI and VizRT helping create teaching spaces and flexible spaces for multi-purpose rooms, and of course media studios and TV studios too. Now, I can't have much time to get into NDI itself today, but all you need to know is it's a software-defined AV over IP protocol, which enables computers, mobiles, devices, and many more using as little as gigabit Ethernet networking. From a bandwidth perspective, an HD feed is around 125 megabit per second or 250 megabit per second for 4K. Now, I know that might scare some of you in IT because it's a lot of data constantly running around the network, but compared to other AV over IP protocols, it's fractional. And the best part about NDI is we have automatic discovery using MDNS, which means devices announce themselves within each subnet that they're assigned to, enabling users to easily find each of the devices they want to use. And we only stream audio and video when you connect to it. It's a request format. So as a user, I can use the NDI tool Studio Monitor to connect to a screen capture somewhere. And it's only when I actually select that feed by name, I don't need to be a network expert to use it, but I select it by name, that I can actually pull that video and audio stream back. When we stop using it and close the application, the stream just goes quiet. There's no more data transferred other than that MDNS broadcast. If you want to get started today, you can go to ndi.video/tools, where there's a whole wealth of information about the protocol itself. And you can actually get started today with free tools for Mac and PC that'll even work on your home network. And you can understand and learn with this incredibly flexible technology too. But I'm here today to talk about what you can build with AV over IP. What are the actual positive outcomes that we can use once we make that transition, particularly when we start applying software and IP. And using CaptureCast today, I'm going to show you how you can spend less time running around actually manually getting into rooms and fixing and setting things up, and more time centrally managing that from centralized locations, such as through your computer on the network, to make your life easier and focus on the day-to-day. To start with, we're going to create NDI spaces for capturing creativity. Now, with our NDI-enabled devices, it makes it super simple to deploy, manage, and scale, and even actually undeploy and redeploy, because the majority of them all use standard Ethernet cabling. So we're going to start off by building a particular room. This could be a classroom or a flexible space, and of course you want to capture our presenter. To do that, we're going to use the new VizRT PTZ3 cameras, which I'm just going to show you now. As we said in the video, these cameras are coming soon. That's just a preview video for what we're about to launch. And here's the actual finished final design. We've put a lot of time and effort into these pan tilt zoom cameras to make them blend in as much as possible. They'll be available in both HD and 4K models with a 20 or 30 times zoom. And crucially, what sets NDI enabled PTZ cameras like our PTZ3 apart is we have a number of features that make life simpler purely because they are network based. So video, audio and PTZ control is all enabled through NDI. The more advanced features are driven through a web protected password GUI. So if you have the admin password or the user account, you can get in and adjust the settings on it, but only if you have that password. And they're all powered over Ethernet. So the very same gigabit Ethernet cable that you use for video, audio and capture is also the same one that can power the camera too if you have that on your network. Also on our cameras, we have a mini XLR jack, which is pretty unique on the back, which allows us to actually connect that camera to existing in-room audio reinforcement and audio systems like my lapel and tie mic here. Of course, capturing the presenter is just one part of the conundrum. We also need to think about capturing our content too. Now, the VizConnect Solo mini converters are an example of NDI mini converter that you can utilize, and we offer these in both HDMI 12G and 3G models, making it super simple to intercept and capture content into the network. To give you an example here today, I've got my laptop connected to the HDMI encoder, which has a loop through enabled to our existing AV, and just happens to turn the presentation on my laptop into NDI. We can also embed this into wireless solutions as well, such as wireless ClickShare type solutions, embedding that into Teams or Zoom rooms, for example, through the loop through, and also converting that to NDI. And finally, we can also use the same converter to send NDI out to a screen. Now, you can't see it right now, but directly in front of me is a very large TV, which I've also got another decoder connected to, so I can keep an eye on the presentation and still talk to you as our audience today. Now, these converters are super simple, and at this point in our room we have capture from the camera, we have an audio input through the camera too, but we also have our presentation source being driven into the VizConnect Solo to deliver the content. But of course we want to start doing something with that, and that is where CaptureCast comes in as a network centralized appliance, enabling you to ingest these sources and start recording, streaming, capturing it. Now, CaptureCast is completely template driven. You can see some examples, some of the workflows that we can drive here, from capturing single presenter or content, both as individual recordings, but in the middle at the bottom there, you can also see a picture-in-picture recording, which is what I'm doing for today's webinar, which is actually combining the two sources into a single branded environment. And you can load any logos or static images into the background there to make it look nice and tidy. Now, the way that this is built is that these templates are actually set up by the IT or the AV admin through a web-based GUI. You choose the devices from NDI that you want to apply to that template, and these are effective jobs and tasks that can start or stop as needed. And that all depends on the type of licensing that you have on the CaptureCast, which we'll come to shortly. Now, CaptureCast can, of course, capture on demand. So in this room in here, our user is actually going to log in through a web browser off their laptop on the network into the CaptureCast, and we're going to use that to trigger a workflow that in today's example consists of presenter, presentation, and a picture-in-picture. Now, you can see this running here now on screen. We actually go in as our presenter logs in. They can enter a title for the recording, choose from a select range of presentations they want to record, even apply metadata tags, and CaptureCast will start ingesting NDI from the network to capture that, in this case, these two sources. Now, once we've recorded and captured it, that is stored on the CaptureCast, and we can go to the Manage page to access and download our content accordingly. But we don't just do recording, we also feature streaming and publishing. Again, we'll come to that shortly. But with NDI devices, we have some additional functions we can use to address some common pain points of in-room capture. First of these is onboard tally light recording. This means that we've taken tally from the broadcast industry, which is where a light turns red if it's being used, goes green if it's not. This is traditionally from vision mixing in broadcast, and we're leveraging that as an in-room record light. So you don't need an additional USB record light system in your default classroom or tutor space. And instead what happens now is that if we run a template that has this configured, we can log in as that template, we start capturing, and you can see on screen straight away that the lights have turned red on those individual devices there, which shows that they're being captured. When we stop capturing on the CaptureCast, those lights will turn off, meaning that those devices are no longer being recorded. But we go a step further than that, because with PTZ cameras, we have the ability to pan, tilt, and zoom them, and we can do that based on presets if we wish. So we can actually define a start and a stop position for recording on these cameras. So now we're going to choose a different template as a presenter, and this template just happens to automate the camera as well, so that when the camera is actually triggered, it moves into its record position. We're still capturing the content, and when we stop recording, the camera is going to return itself to a default storage position. This could be looking at the wall or the ceiling to stop getting dust on it, but it crucially means that people feel like they're not being watched. Now on this second template that we're going to run, same process, but that template's got a different presentation position set up. This means that when templates are driven, we can actually set up the same space again and again in different configurations. And if we extend that to flexible spaces, like in this example here where we're shooting down the length of a room, we can actually then, between two templates, switch from a configuration shooting lengthways to another one widthways. We can reorganize the room accordingly, and all of this can be built on templates that run on time every time. Now, if we go aside from the automation side of the actual in-room devices with CaptureCast, we can also do this on the inbuilt scheduling function that this product has. So in this case now, instead of recording by triggering directly in the web GUI on the user interface, our users can actually log in from their laptop into the CaptureCast and log into the scheduler. So here on screen, you can see that we're creating a schedule called test in this case, and that one is going to start at 9:59 every Tuesday and Thursday, and it's on a repeat schedule for at least a month. That means now that at that time of day, on those select dates until that end date, CaptureCast is going to start and stop those processes that were configured in the scheduler, allowing you to run this like clockwork. It means that it repeats and sets itself up each time. Now you get that calendar view that's on screen there as well that you can inspect. This is tied to user account permissions, so different users can have different roles. But we also have a dashboard on the product, which is the main front screen that you saw earlier. But at the very top of the screen, there's the ability to see view workflows, and at the bottom, you can see the scheduled captures. Now, what we can do is we can actually go into the viewing workflow function and actually look at any of the running services that are currently there. So in this case right now, we've got a capture that's already taking place. This is the example you saw earlier on. And on the right-hand side, there is the ability to add or subtract time from that recording, because sometimes things will underrun, or in most cases, they'll slightly overrun, which is unfortunately, maybe I've got a thing I might do slightly today. So we can just extend that recording to get us there. Any queued tasks are actually available at the bottom, so you can see that that is queued to publish when it finishes recording, and we've automatically updated those settings there as well. But we go another step again, and depending on how far you want to take this, by integrating with video management systems. The nice thing about this is it means that your users can keep using existing educational or corporate video capture systems that they know and love, and you can actually transition to AV over IP in the background. CaptureCast, when it finishes recording, can be configured to publish to Panopto, Kaltura, OpenCast, and many more, and even public video management systems like YouTube or Vimeo, if you so wish. We can also live stream, because we have inbuilt streaming encoders, enabling us to live stream to social media such as Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and also custom streaming encoders. And also, lastly, we can transfer content to on-premises network attached storage, like our VizRT NRS system, which also allows you to interface with Adobe Premiere and Final Cut for additional content creation use cases, editing and fine-tuning that content, say, for your marketing department afterwards. But I'm going to focus now on one particular integration, which is for our technical partnership with Panopto. And just like some of the other integrations here, we actually have some additional control that can be exposed. Panopto users simply interact with the Panopto video management system. That in turn controls us. So now here, I'm logged into our Panopto account. We're going to start recording on Panopto. When we record on Panopto there, that's going to trigger the CaptureCast. The CaptureCast in turn is then actually going to start recording the actual individual devices that are coming from those devices, and then we're going to return those feeds back to the CaptureCast and live stream them to Panopto. This process can run again and again. It's a constant flow of data between these different services and products. And then at the end, when either on the schedule from the video management system stops, or if it's manually stopped by an ad hoc, that then in turn will then tell CaptureCast to stop recording to manage our in-room devices. And then you'll see at the bottom that that content is now being published back for Panopto to process, ready for our users to access, annotate, and review. Now, more importantly in all of this, as cool as this workflow is when we join all these pieces together in a really simple way, you can actually create an air gap now between your users on the IT network, even if they're using Bring Their Own Device, and your AV over IP network, and actually simply have a video management system like Panopto in the middle there. Similar approaches apply with Kaltura and OpenCast. They're slightly different ways of working. But the beauty of this is it provides an air gap and keeps people within the right domain. But of course, those Bring Your Own Device laptops can be plugged into that Connect Solo device at the other end, making it super simple to capture and make all of this sing together. Now, of course, at the start, I talked about, well, how are we going to stop you running around so much? Well, we've spoken a lot about one individual room here. And the good news is that CaptureCast scales. The default configuration for CaptureCast is running one single room or workflow at a time, but through flexible Spaces subscription licensing on an annual basis, you can add a second room or a third room at an incredibly competing price to other systems on the market, simply because of the fact we're just enabling software licensing services. All of those can still do all of the processes and more that we've just shown today. And if you want to scale beyond 3 rooms, you simply add more CaptureCast. You're effectively adding and scaling up more services as you go along. Now, because all of this is running on NDI, it means the rooms can be shared with each other. Devices can be shared and pooled in different ways through CaptureCast. But also crucially, if you add the command center for CaptureCast on there, that gives you a single web-based GUI overview of all of your CaptureCast agents running on the network, as well as the ability to look at and manage NDI sources too. Now, through this solution, we've made storytelling and capture really, really super simple. It gives you a really good grounding to actually take full advantage of NDI and expand further into a software-defined and AV-driven ecosystem, targeting these services and more to focus on content creation, but also more importantly, knowledge transfer and information sharing. With that solid groundwork, you can then scale up and grow out into the rest of the ecosystem that VizRT have to offer, catering live production with TriCaster on premises, but also in the cloud with TriCaster Vector. We have sports production and replay and live graphics, through to web-based graphics and even virtual studio and AR graphics too. Some example products here aside from CaptureCast are the TriCaster Mini Go through to the 2 Elite, ranging from HD to 4K, all the way through to the upcoming Viz Virtual Studio Go, where the very camera I'm using here right now can be used to generate real-time augmented reality graphics and virtual studios too.
Video has found its way at the very center of every education environment, taking learning out of the classroom and enabling a whole new generation of storytellers.
I'm Layla. And I'm Josh. And welcome to this edition of Forest Lake Today.
The future is with the kids, and the gear that we have fits great into our educational model of a great learning environment for the students.
From educators creating remote learning courses and lecture capture distribution, to student-produced sports broadcasts, morning announcements, and more.
It's been a really wonderful way of our students' closest friends and family to be able to engage with their work.
VizRT provides powerful live video solutions that can be used by students and educators alike anywhere in the world.
The TriCaster is the heart of our control room. From the very beginning, when we're importing footage onto it, as well as recording openings, to the very end, when we're broadcasting a video to over 3,000 students.
Making education in any field easy, convenient, and accessible.
When a student first begins to learn the TriCaster system, we partner them with a more experienced student, and within an hour, they're operating at full capacity for our live show.
It's created an environment that allows them to create video more easily with less overhead and less time.
Educating students and empowering the next generation of storytellers.
Because we have more capabilities to broadcast from anywhere, it challenges us to think about new options and new possibilities.
A fairly healthy majority of my graduating seniors do go on to university-level broadcast journalism and film programs. It's really a sight to see.
Discover how video is changing the future of education at visrt.com.
And if you'd like to find out more, please do visit visrt.com/education. We do, of course, have the PDF for you to download with this information and more. But for now, again, thank you very much for that. And I look forward to talking to you now in the Q&A section. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Liam. Wow. What a fantastic presentation. Just loved it. So much good stuff there. And while we do what you said and get the questions ready for what I think is going to be an awesome Q&A, I'm going to throw up the poll question. So this is similar to the last one. Tell us what information, additional information, you would like about the VizRT solution. Please keep voting while we go through the Q&A. Let them know how they should contact you or how they should follow up with you. Lots of questions raised, lots of interest generated from this presentation today, Liam. So I am really excited to dive in with you on this. Are you ready to go, Liam?
I am indeed, Keith.
All right, fantastic. So let's get to it. First question from our attendees today. We've got some great ones coming in. What audio sources can I use with CaptureCast other than the PTZ cameras and converters that you mentioned earlier in the presentation?
So outside of actually using our converters to convert to NDI audio, the CaptureCast itself can support USB audio devices, so mainly ones that are compatible with Linux. You can basically use audio converters for other IP protocols into the system, or there's analog audio breakout bars currently on the market as well. But yeah, the primary audio means is with NDI outside of that USB connectivity. But it's something that, of course, we're always looking at, and our channel partners can always help advise the best workflow for that.
Oh, gotcha. Great. Okay. Brian wants to know, how scalable and adaptive are VizRT solutions, and how have they evolved over the last few years with more hybrid solutions being needed? Great question from Brian.
Yes, indeed. I mean, the great thing with VizRT is we are primarily, first and foremost, a software company. So our solutions are incredibly adaptable, very, very flexible indeed. As you may have seen at the start, and also partly throughout the video as well, NewTek became part of VizRT in 2019, and it's last year that we rolled the NewTek portfolio fully under the One VizRT brand. So any of you out there that are familiar with the NewTek TriCaster over the years or other NewTek technologies, they now form part of our wider portfolio. So we have solutions and products at all different scales that can build around CaptureCast or work independently. And of course, we do support other protocols beyond just NDI. Some of our products support Dante and AES67 audio, for example. So we like to sort of say that, whatever your solution or situation for creating with audio and video, usually the answer is yes, we have a solution for that. So again, that's where our channel partners and also ourselves, when we deliver live online demos, can help assist you there with whatever it is you want to achieve.
Options are always good, and the more the better, especially in something as broad an area as this, Liam. Okay, next question comes from Adam. What kind of latency can we expect using NDI, and are there other lower latency options?
So NDI itself is actually really, really quick. And the interesting thing about it is any latency is actually typically on the encoding end. Once we're in the network, everything remains as data. Now, typically within most encoding products on the market, not all, but majority of them, particularly in software and in our hardware products, you're probably expecting around 1/10 of a second to get into the network, which is very, very swift indeed. In fact, the real number is about 16 scan lines of video. So we get into the network really, really quickly. And once at that point, I said it's all data on the network. So we can send, distribute, and reuse that signal as much as we want. And we can even use it to traverse across the public internet using tools like NDI Bridge that you'll find in the NDI tool suite. But typically, if we're looking at a round trip, you could be looking around 3 to 4 frames of video to get through a whole pipeline. Now, that would be from a camera through to something that's recording and outputting the other side. And CaptureCast itself does have NDI-HX encoding output on there as well, which is really, really swift. So you can use that on board for additional streaming down the line as well if you wish. But every use case is going to vary. So again, that's where our channel partners and ourselves can actually help with any proof of concepts for particular setups that you're doing, because every sort of workflow is going to vary, particularly when we start using things like HDMI and traditional SDI baseband in the mix. That's where the variability really kicks in on these things. But I think you'll find, try out those NDI tools first, and you can see just how fast this can be for you.
Fantastic. I mean, it sounds, from what you're saying, in most cases, almost then instantaneous. So that is very, very important, of course, in these environments as well. Okay. I want to remind everyone to keep voting in the poll. We've got another minute or two left here in the Q&A before we have got to let Liam go. I did also want to mention that any questions that we do not get to today, because we're running out of time, that VizRT will be following up with all of you. I think that is fair to say. So don't worry if it doesn't get asked during this event. You will be hearing back from them. So next question comes from Vicky today. And Vicky wants to know, instead of pre-programming camera placement, do you have integration with mic-activated cameras for the PDZ3 or other cameras for a multi-camera meeting room where items are not predictable? So a long question there, but that's what Vicky wants to know.
So we don't specifically have that integration right now, and interesting enough, it's something that I've been starting to dig into more recently around this product. But it's something that we are always looking at. If there are particular audio systems that you'd like to integrate with, do please let me know. But there is a fully open API for the CaptureCast. In fact, the majority of our products have an open software API. So if we don't already have an integration like this particular case with mic-activated cameras, then it's saying that one of our systems integrators or partners could easily integrate through our professional services team there. But again, equally, Vicky, if you want to get in touch afterwards, you've got a particular use case in mind, then let's particularly discuss further. And it's something that I would hope that we can address in the near future for sure.
Fantastic. Okay. And finally for you today, Liam, and again, remember that they will get back to you on any and all questions that are asked. So you have generated a tremendous amount of interest in VizRT. We can tell just from the questions and the feedback from the audience here. So if someone wants to take that next step right after this event, what do you recommend they do?
Well, you can reach out to us and book a live demo online, or say contact any of our channel partners that are listed on the VizRT.com website. We can sort of take it from there and explore the solutions that you're looking for.
All right, fantastic. Well, Liam, it has been a pleasure to have you on. Such a great presentation. So much illumination happening. I mean, I know a lot more than I knew when this started, and that's kind of the point here. So thank you for being on with us and for just letting us know what VizRT is doing. It is so exciting to see what you're up to these days. Thanks again.
Thanks for having us. It's been a real pleasure presenting to you all today. Thank you.
All right. Thanks again for being on with us. I'm going to leave this poll question up here one more minute, and I want to remind you about the handouts. Again, we do have a VizRT handout PDF that you can download, and you need to do that ASAP because we are starting to wind down in the event today, everyone. And keep voting in the poll. Now we are going to pick our final two winners of the day. We've got two more $300 Amazon gift cards to give away. And the winners have been picked, and they are Sean Milstead from Oregon and Linda Getler from Minnesota. Congratulations to Sean and to Linda. Sit tight, folks, and you'll be hearing from us on how to claim your prizes. And with that, want to let you know that if you want to sponsor an event, if you liked what you saw today and you think this might be a perfect fit for your company, for your solution, well, we want to hear from you. We have got hundreds of events each year that'll be a good fit for you. We can also create a special event just for you to tell the world about what you're doing. So if this is you, if you have any interest in this, please contact us at connect@actualtechmedia.com, and we will be back with you with lots of options on how to build an event around you or to join an event like this. So please let us know ASAP so we can get one of our reps out to contact you so you can find out more. And if you like this event, you might be interested in something coming out tomorrow. We've got another fantastic event. I'm very excited about this one. It is an EcoCast on securing and protecting email services. Two of the leading companies in the industry are going to be showing how to do that tomorrow. KnowBe4 and Rubrik. That event starts at noon Eastern time. That's my time, 9 a.m. for those of you on the West Coast. So sign up for that right after the event ends today, which is going to be just another minute or so, because folks, we are wrapped for this event. I want to thank all of our presenters today for putting together fantastic presentations, demos. The Q&A insights were outstanding. And I want to thank Sennheiser and VizRT for making today's event possible. Finally, to all you attendees, thanks for being here with us. I always look forward to joining you on these EcoCasts, on our MegaCast, on all of our events. It is such a pleasure to spend part of my day with you. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. Thanks to your questions and your interest in this topic. And I'm going to let you get going on the rest of your day here, folks. Have a great one, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. That includes the event. Have a great rest of your day.